Hello, hello, everybody. It's your boy. Hope everybody's enjoying. What is it? Thursday now? Is it Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday. Hope everybody's enjoying Thursday, January the 20th. We're gonna do some live coverage here of the um, winter storms that are expected to impact portions of the Carolinas. Pretty serious winter storm warnings coming into play. It's gonna be pretty interesting. So we're going to talk about that once everybody starts to get in here. Hope everybody's doing all right. I know it's been a little bit since I've actually gone on here and talked. Been busy the last couple of days, so it's been a little bit hectic, but glad everybody is still here. We'll go ahead and get in here and talk about some stuff. Make sure it sounds good. It does. But thank you guys so much for being here still. Thanks for subscribing. Hello from Central Arkansas. Hello, Mary. Thanks for being here. Jose in the house. What's up, Jose? Thank you guys so much for being here. Tonight we're going to talk about the current winter storm and ice storm warnings we have out across the Carolinas. We haven't really talked about this system. Actually, we haven't at all on live stream. But we're going to talk a little bit about it tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to look at is the actual hazards map, okay? This kind of is going to tell us exactly what's going on in the country and what the National Weather Service is expecting. Everything of my internet is super slow tonight, so this is going to be an extremely painful live stream. As you can tell, it won't even load the hazards map. It has been like this all night. I'm assuming we have some type of power or like Wi-Fi internet outage. It has been super, super slow tonight, so bear with it. But here are the current warnings that are in effect across areas along the East Coast, especially the Carolinas, mostly the Carolinas. So you have winter weather advisories here in the purple. Those winter weather advisories extend anywhere from the South Carolina-Georgia border all the way up through South Carolina, North Carolina, into Virginia, as well as into southern Maryland, and they stop as they near the Delaware area. Those are winter weather advisories there in the purple. The ones you really want to focus on here, I'll circle in a different color, is the pinks and the dark purples, okay? So those pinks are your winter storm warnings. So that is where they're expecting the heaviest snowfall amount to be located this weekend. This starts tonight, goes through tomorrow, and then it goes into Saturday as well. This is the winter storm warning, and then you have your ice storm warnings in the dark purple. Now, those ice storm warnings are extremely dangerous as well. So we want to talk on that a little bit here this evening. But right here is your main corridor of those heavy winter storm, wintry precipitation expected this weekend or over the next couple days. Let's see what the National Weather Service is talking about, right? Let's see what they're calling for the snowfall amounts. Of course, on this channel, I only pull things that the National Weather Service is saying. I don't typically pull information from my own forecast on here because I could be wrong. So for snowfall amounts going through Saturday at 7 o'clock, so this is the next 48 hours as of 7 o'clock, as of 30 minutes ago. It's the next 48 hours. Here's your cutoff for some of the heaviest snow. Doesn't really go all the way back into South Carolina because further back here, you're more of a threat for ice than you are snow. So here's your heaviest area of snow amounts. I've seen a lot of arguments on social media about how much snow is expected in this region. National Weather Service goes with probably about the 5 to 8 inch range, tucked right here along the Atlantic coastline. It sits right on the border of North Carolina and Virginia. And then you have your about 1 to 3 inches, comes all the way back. Doesn't quite go into South Carolina. It stops right here at the North Carolina border. That's about your 1 to 3 inch. But your heaviest snowfall expectations over the next 48 hours is right here along the Virginia and North Carolina border, all the way to include areas along the Atlantic coast. I'm not 100% sure on what cities are in there. I'll have to do some Google map searching. That's for snow. Let's get into ice. Now, ice is a big talk as well. There were some forecast models that are like computer models, raw model data that was showing up to maybe 1/4 of an inch. I know that was being talked about by the National Weather Service as well. So we won't rule that out. Anywhere from about a tenth of an inch to a quarter of an inch of ice should be expected in South Carolina. This includes areas like Myrtle Beach. This dives all the way back into South Carolina as well. So anywhere in that region could see some heavy ice, but it looks like the quarter of the heaviest freezing rain potential occurs right there, anywhere from about the South Carolina, North Carolina border, northeast, all the way up the Atlantic coast. And then you probably do get into the Outer Banks here of North Carolina. You probably have some ice potential in that small region as well. And then anywhere in this little bay region as well. So it's a pretty heavy ice potential as well. Not something terribly common. This is the second forecasted weather event in a row that has seen any type of ice potential. We know a couple weeks ago, or not even that, like a week ago, we had ice potential and ice accumulation through this region. Now we're a little bit further south. Now we're on to the Atlantic. Now I wouldn't be surprised to see some frozen ice chunks here along the Atlantic if it gets that cold in there, which it probably will be. So that's your ice potential. Heavy ice is likely. We should expect, of course, major travel delays anywhere in this region. Now, keep in mind, a lot of these people aren't used to driving in wintry precipitation, right? So a lot of this area and their residents maybe haven't had much experience driving in here. So I would expect a lot of school delays if this starts tonight like it's supposed to. A lot of school delays, probably a lot of work closings as well, I'd imagine, just because this area is not used to seeing this type of weather. So how about timing, right? Let's go to the HER and let's check out the timing and when is it supposed to start. So for the most part, I think there is, because I did check the radar here not too long ago. There is a line of snow. Again, this is taking forever to load. My Wi-Fi is not here today. It's been like this since I got home this afternoon. It's just been super slow today. But right here is that slither of snow that's already ongoing according to radar. We do see that on radar already happening. Let me go over to here so I don't miss anybody's questions. So we already have this occurring in here, right? This heavy snow, or not really heavy yet, but snow bands are already starting along the Carolina and Virginia region. And then we have rain showers that also appear on radar right now that tuck all the way back into South Carolina. So you look at that and then you switch over to radar, and that's exactly what's happening, right? This is what's happening right now. You have your snow showers probably going up through here, and then lots of rain showers all the way back across North Carolina, South Carolina. So that's pretty much bumping right now with what the forecast models, the computer models are generating. Let's go up a few hours here. Go to about 9 o'clock p.m. Or I suppose this would be 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Let my dinosaur of a Wi-Fi connection get there. So by 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, you're starting to see a little bit of mixed precipitation, maybe some freezing rain starting to develop right in there across portions of North Carolina, but still a lot of mainly rain. I think that warm front's still pretty far north. So a lot of rain that isn't quite freezing as it gets to the surface. Let's skip ahead to 1 a.m. Eastern time. Hello from upstate South Carolina, Greenville in the house. Thanks for being here. So we go ahead and go to, this would be 1 o'clock in the morning. And again, still pretty dead on the HER, right? Not a lot happening. Got some snow coming in here. Maybe a line here of mixed precipitation, but not much going for the freezing rain potential as well as snowfall potential either. So probably is going to happen more or less going into the morning here. We're going to skip ahead to about 6 in the morning and see what we got going on here. It's pretty much dead, right? Not much happening. Drawn. It's dry. Let's go ahead and go all the way to Friday afternoon, or this would be Friday morning. This is about noon on Friday. Gosh, this thing's going so slow tonight. So now you're starting to see the freezing rain potential start to kick up here. So it doesn't really happen until Friday morning into Friday afternoon. Now you're starting to see the pinks starting to come together there. That's your freezing rain potential. That's when it's going to start. It looks pretty scattered there at first. Kind of the similar event we had up here in the Midwest a couple weeks ago. The ice potential was so scattered and it wasn't lasting long, but it was just random pink lines and dots all over the state of Indiana that I was trying to chase, and that was not easy. But you're seeing that happening again across the Carolinas here. We'll have to actually go back to the 18Z to even get further. We'll go into Friday afternoon, Friday evening, kind of moving into the Friday evening range and see what it's saying. Everyone must be busy tonight. Usually we already have like 200 people on. I don't even see my moderators yet. Man, this thing is so slow. Holy cow. I don't know what is going on. I need to check online and see what's going on with the internet connection tonight. It has been like this since about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It is unbelievably slow. I don't know if it's the computer or if it's my internet. Yeah, the Wi-Fi needs some coffee. That's for sure. This has been just so slow this afternoon. I don't even know why. Yeah, no snow in New York City this afternoon. It's going to miss pretty far to the south. That low pressure is kind of going off into the ocean, and won't do. Yeah, that's probably what I need to do. I need to do a little reboot. I should have done it before the live stream, but okay. So now you see the escalation here of ice potential across portions of the Carolinas. This is Friday afternoon. I think about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Now you're seeing any time in the afternoon. Is what it's going to look like. So now you're seeing that snow starting to really come down here across North Carolina. Look how close it is to the coastline. I mean, that is right along the coast. It's not even like 10 miles off the coast. This is Myrtle Beach ice potential. I mean, how many times you hear about Myrtle Beach seeing any type of ice potential? But you're seeing the pinks here. That's all freezing rain and likely ice accumulation occurring there. And then you have your heavy snow probably starting to come down up here. We'll skip ahead to about 7 o'clock p.m. It'll be about 10 o'clock p.m. my time before this actually loads. Penn Weather's in the house. First face I've actually recognized here. Oh, it's been pretty quiet here the first few minutes. Probably because everybody's just tired of waiting on my Wi-Fi. I don't know what is going on with this. This is driving me crazy. Gosh. So while that takes about a year and a half to load, this is the current radar. So not much expected tonight across this area, right? Some snow flurries probably happening up here. Maybe some minor accumulation there in like the Richmond, Virginia, east of Roanoke area. Maybe even some mixed precip happening down here in North Carolina. And then mostly rain up and down the coast, right? This will quickly change going into tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow we're expecting that heavy ice to be anywhere from about the Myrtle Beach area, Wilmington, all the way up to include the Outer Banks, probably in that region with the heaviest ice potential. And then a heavy snow extends out to about like this tomorrow. So you got your heaviest snow up here. S is for snow. And then F is your freezing rain as your low kicks out like that. That's what is expected. Let's see if it's loaded. Yes, it has. So now by 7 o'clock tomorrow night, now you're really working here. Just like I said, there's that low pressure kicking way out into the Atlantic at only 1,017 millibars. But that's expected like that, right? That's why it's going to push way out here. That's why areas like New York City or Philly in this region is not going to see much, if anything. Actually, they probably won't see anything. Snow bands will start and they'll kick like that, and they'll continue to go up like this, where your heaviest snow bands and your heaviest accumulations is expected right in this region here. As for your ice and freezing rain, where the ice storm warning currently exists, it is down in here, right? So pretty much right along the coast, even all the way back into South Carolina. Again, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, up towards the Outer Banks. All that region has the potential for some heavy ice. I've seen some forecast models, the heaviest being right in here on computer data. But the National Weather Service is calling for upwards of 1/4 of an inch of ice in that region tomorrow evening, afternoon, going into very early Saturday morning. That is where your ice potential exists right there. So for those who were not here a second ago, and it's starting to speed up a little bit. Those who were not here a second ago, here is your National Weather Service official forecast as of 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern tonight. This is the next 48 hours, so this will take us, or I'm sorry, this is the 24-hour one. This is the next 24 hours. This will take us to Friday at 1 o'clock p.m. So this is already Friday through 1 o'clock, as we said, start in the morning. So this is not even the full volume of what could happen tomorrow. This only goes until 1 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. So what that means is, at least through the morning, you're going to get almost over you're getting over 1/10 of an inch of ice even just through the morning. Those computer models that we were just showing actually go into tomorrow evening with that ice potential, and that extends further south. So what I would expect to see is probably 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more, all the way through this region by the time this forecast model updates tomorrow. By the time this event starts, of course, we'll probably be live here tomorrow talking about it as it's coming down, because this will be an afternoon event, so it'd be perfect for us to be live. Here's your current snow through the next 48 hours. So this is through 7 o'clock p.m. Again, this is only through 7 o'clock p.m. on Saturday. So, okay, this is through Saturday. Never mind. So this is through Saturday, 7 o'clock p.m. The snow has pretty much done its job by this point. So you're seeing the lighter blue being about your 1 to 3 inch. And as you get closer to the Virginia, North Carolina border, right along the Atlantic coast, you're pushing 5 to 8 inches. Again, an area that's maybe is not so used to seeing it. That's pretty far north, so I'm sure they've seen 5 to 8 inches before. But the ice potential right along the coast, that's an area where not a lot of ice is. Not a lot of people are used to ice down there. So, yeah, I mean, just like any other forecast model, it's yet to be known. This is what National Weather Service has put out. That's the only thing I read is what they put out. They're pretty confident so far in 5 to 8 there, as well as the ice potential back. But with any type of winter weather forecast, especially the event that happened a couple weeks ago up here in the Northeast, or maybe like a week ago, probably wasn't even that far. The uncertainty will exist up until the event pretty much starts, right? Because it all depends again on that low. Where does it go? Question mark. It just depends. You never know. It could change the last second. Next thing you know, instead of getting 1/4 of an inch here, you're getting 1/4 of an inch also up here of ice. You just don't know. Same goes with the snow. It could be 5 to 8 in here at 1 minute, and next thing you know, it's going all the way up here for 5 to 8. So it's always a waiting game. Always a chance for a change. Always a chance for anything. Current hazards map indicating where the winter storm and ice storm warnings currently exist. Probably, I think I've been studying weather for about 10 years now, chasing it and keeping up with it regularly for only about 4. But I think that's the first time in at least 4 years that I've noticed there's an ice storm warning this far. I don't think I've ever personally or remember. I'm sure I've seen it before, but I don't ever remember seeing an ice storm warning that borders the Atlantic coast there in the Carolinas. Someone in here that might know a little bit more on the history of ice storms might be able to tell me when the last one was, or could do a Google search. Same goes with winter storm warnings. Pretty far east along that coast, but that ice storm warning is more of like, oh, wow, that's crazy to me, being that far southeast. But the dark purple indicates your ice storm warning, where they're expecting 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more localized. Now that is what this is in here, means that there will likely be power outage. Okay, if it plays out, you're getting 1/4 of an inch of ice. That's enough to knock down trees, knock down snap branches, knock them onto power lines, knock out your power. So obviously, if you're in here, and I wish I was here this weekend, but I couldn't make it. But if I'm in here, I'm probably already buying like my bread and milk or whatever people always buy. Um, even same in here, with the potential for some heavy snow. Now, a lot of the reason why there's winter storm warnings that extend all the way far south, even though they're only expected in here, is because, again, like I said, this area isn't really used to seeing winter storm warnings. In fact, we had a winter storm warning in South Texas for 1 inch. They put out a winter storm warning in South Texas for 1 inch of snow. That happened. And the reason being is because in South Texas, how many times they see snow? Never. And so people down there don't really know what they're doing. And so they have to issue that. I think it's a little bit the same here, even though there's a little bit more expected, more of a 3 to 5 range dipping back here, but got to issue it out because it's not common there in that climate. Excuse me. But again, ice storm warning, winter storm warning, and then your lighter purple is your winter weather advisory. So anywhere in that light purple area also has the chance to see accumulating snowfall. And then a random winter weather advisory up here. That's because of lake effect snowfall that's falling in the Cleveland area, or will be at least. No, this is way far south of Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville, Kentucky is right here. So you're about probably 400 miles northwest of this. Yeah, southern Texas, yeah, they're getting snow. It's crazy. But like I said, that's not very much snow expected in southern Texas, but they got those winter storm warnings out for that reason. Only like 1 inch or 2 expected, and a little bit of ice accumulation expected down there as well, which is a little bit more concerning. So if you're just tuning in, we are monitoring the threat for a winter storm again over the next 2 days across portions of the Carolinas. This includes ice potential, upwards of 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more. Expect power outages, of course, and then snowfall potential anywhere from 5 to 8 inches along the Atlantic coast, and then about a 3 to 5 for parts of North Carolina, and then 1 to 3 for the rest of the region. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Ask questions in the comments if you have them. Never afraid to answer questions. But let's get back into... Let's take a look at the radar that's happening right now. So this is... I'm going to switch up here. I want to see what's going on up here. So here's that snowfall that was appearing on the HUR. There is snow that's currently falling across portions of Virginia. It looks like going into southern Maryland, as well as stretching all the way down to include areas like Virginia Beach. Probably some snowflakes coming down there. And then just south of that is your transition into rainfall. You go south into that warm front. Transitions into rain because the surface is warmer than what it is up here. And then probably some mixed precip coming down right. Probably Virginia Beach, probably seeing a little bit of both rain and snow that's falling. That is what's happening right now in the area. This is not the same event that is going to bring that heavy ice. S. Marie thinks that 2011 was the last winter storm. Yeah, so it's been a long time. 11 years now, right? Let's go back to the National Weather Service forecast now that we have some people actually tuning in here. Let's take a look at the 48-hour snow potential. And let's dig in on North Carolina and Virginia, since that's going to be the hardest hit region of this winter storm event. If you're just now tuning in, my internet is very slow tonight, so we're being a little bit patient. We are tracking the potential, again, for winter and ice storms. Both of those warnings are out, winter and ice storm warnings. All right, so going over the next 48 hours, this is through Saturday at 7 o'clock. It says right here, this is ending Saturday, 7 o'clock p.m. So that is the last forecasted date for this. So from now until 7 o'clock p.m. on Saturday, here's your corridor of heaviest snowfall potential. I know we have some people that live in Virginia Beach that follow me. That is the area of concern. Virginia Beach, 7.9 inches is what National Weather Service is predicting. So we were saying 5 to 8 inches. You might even go 6 to 8, 6 to 9 inches through that region. And then the rest of the area in like the blue, in your 2 to 4, 3 to 5 inch range. And then you kind of expand out from there to go to about a 1 to 3 inches, and even some flurries maybe possible back here in Florence, Georgia. Maybe as far west as Greensboro. Or I'm sorry, that's Florence, South Carolina. Sorry. Florence, South Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina. But right now, obviously, the biggest concern being in the purple, the light and dark purple, where Virginia Beach sits. Looks like Virginia Beach. I know we had some people like, when's the Virginia Beach getting snow? Well, you guys are getting it. How about the ice, right? Now, the ice is a little bit different. This is only a 24-hour run, and this could change a lot more than what we're seeing right now. It will probably, because, again, this is only the next 24 hours. This event's supposed to go on for the next 48. But we're seeing areas in actually, did that change? It looks like it did, didn't it? Yeah, so this is different now, because this was only going to 1 o'clock p.m. So this is different. So this is through 7 o'clock p.m. now tomorrow. Look at the ice potential. Jacksonville, North Carolina, 0.41 inches of ice. That is a massive amount of ice. That is power out for a few days type of ice storm. And this heavy ice extends all the way down into Wilmington, over 1/10 of an inch. But 4/10 of an inch of ice, guys, is like thick ice hanging off power lines. If you live in the area, you'll see trees. Of course, we'll be covering this tomorrow on Saturday, but you'll see pictures of trees leaning over because of the weight of the ice. A lot of them will snap. Power lines will snap. You'll probably hear power flashes. You won't be able to drive, that's for sure. It will be impossible to drive on these roads with 4/10 of an inch of ice on the ground. I mean, this is not gonna be possible. They won't be able to keep up with that. I'll be super surprised if any. It's not gonna be possible. We're not even gonna talk about that. So they won't be able to keep up the roads. So 4/10 of an inch of ice in Jacksonville, North Carolina is incredible. For the region anyway. You might expect that further north into like the Midwest, like Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin areas, like see ice storms a lot more. The Dakotas, really Dakotas see more snow than anything, but that is a lot of ice and a lot of snow. So definitely toggling with two pretty decent events there in the Carolinas. Winter storm up north, and then even on top of that ice, 4/10 inch of ice, you still have close to an inch of snow potential there in Jacksonville. So you might have snow covering the ice, which you see a lot. And people think that it's okay to drive on the roads because all they see is snow. And next thing you know, their tires are hitting that ice that's underneath that thin layer of snow, and they're crashing. Or you get pileups on the interstate, because everybody here knows how people drive. That no matter what, even with 4/10 of inch of ice on the ground, people are still going to be trying to drive. It is a never failing thing. You see it all the time. You see it in blizzards. You see now a lot of people can't help it. A lot of people are police officers, nurses, firefighters going to work, whatever. Right? People can avoid it, but if you can avoid it, you don't need to be on the road. That's just it. That type of ice storm, you won't be able to even, doesn't matter what kind of vehicle you have. Oh, I got a Ford pickup truck. I don't care. 4/10 ice won't do anything. Your 4-wheel drive won't save you. But that's what's expected. Pretty heavy region too. Probably approaching the Outer Banks, right? So anywhere along the Outer Banks of North Carolina, you're probably going to get ice potential as well. But yeah, pretty cool. It's not something, or I guess it's not that cool if you live there, but we were talking about timing earlier. We were talking about how the HER, we'll have to go back to 18Z, but we're talking about how the HER didn't really have it ramping up until Friday afternoon, Friday evening. Just looking at what the National Weather Service put out, that is still accurate. So we'll get that a second to load. I don't know where you live, so I couldn't tell you where the blizzards are. If you're not in the Carolinas, that's not what we're talking about tonight. All the winter storms either go south or north or too far inland. This one's been pretty confident. I haven't seen much change in it, so I think this one will be a pretty good one, especially only being a day away from it starting and this information's still accurate. So I don't think so. Ryan says it'll be rain for us and a little ice. Well, this is the National Weather Service, Gracie. This isn't a YouTuber. If the National Weather Service is putting it out, that's what you should follow. Man, it's taking forever. Yeah, guys, it's important to remember that, these are trained meteorologists putting this information out. This isn't a YouTuber. This isn't Facebook pages. This isn't Twitter, tweets, Instagram. This is straight from the National Weather Service. This is the most accurate information you're going to receive. That's why we only read information given out by the National Weather Service on this Facebook page. We don't give out anything else because when you put out information that says otherwise, you get people that, call you wrong or get upset with you, unsubscribe because you're wrong, whatnot. It's very important that we just read what the National Weather Service is giving out. What is going on? Holy. My computer has been so irritating tonight. I can't even stand it. Okay. So this is 4 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. This is tomorrow afternoon going into tomorrow evening. Right where Jacksonville is, right? That's where the heaviest freezing rain potential is. So about 4 o'clock tomorrow, it is basically on top of Jacksonville. This whole region right through here, we know, is going to be the area of 0.4 of an inch of ice, according to the National Weather Service. So when you're seeing these pinks, that's what that is. And the purples is the mixed precipitation, in case you're all wondering. And then the blue is the snow. So you get your, this is pretty much, textbook. This is how it happens every time. You get your freezing rain and ice accumulation down here. You get your mixed precip and maybe a little bit of freezing rain tucked in there. And then you get your heavy snow up here. This heavy snow will continue along a line like this and will impact areas like Virginia Beach where the heaviest snow is expected. And this freezing rain will continue like this as well and bring all that heavy ice accumulation to that region. So we definitely want to monitor that. Obviously, again, there's interstates in here indicated by the blue lines. People will try to travel on them. They do every time. We'll probably do some live coverage on it tomorrow, as well as actually we will do it tomorrow because tomorrow's when it's supposed to be the heaviest. So tomorrow afternoon we'll probably go live at some point and talk about all of the ice, and I'm sure there'll be car wrecks that we'll have to pull up information on. We'll check traffic information in South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia tomorrow as well. We'll stay up to date with all of that. I don't know if I can. I can't. They need to do it where you can actually zoom in on your state and see your warning. I don't know why they don't allow that on Pivotal. But here's the current warnings out. You have your winter weather advisories there in the light purple. Somebody the other day tried to tell me that an advisory was above a warning. It's absolutely not true. There's your advisories, and then your winter storm warning in the pink. That's for your 6 to 9 inch range. And then you have your ice storm warnings. That's in effect, and that is for your 0.4 of an inch of ice potential up and down the Atlantic coast there in the Carolinas. Only about 2 counties there, maybe 3 counties in South Carolina, and then about 10 in North Carolina. So South Carolina, I think, dodges a bullet with the ice. I still think you see ice potential all the way back into like the Florence, South Carolina region, but just not as much as the dark purple area. I think that's, you guys kind of dodge a bullet with that there. Let me get into, oh, that's the wrong one. The way the internet's going, I don't want to click on the wrong one. You want snow? Where do you live, Gracie? Can you give me an idea? Yeah, it's always important, guys. I see a lot of people talking about relying on the National Weather Service. It's absolutely who you need to rely on. We actually, me and a couple of meteorologist friends the other day, we actually started talking about about like 4 to 5 inch totals, which I don't think I've ever heard of. They put out a model run that was so bizarre that was pulled from a computer, 4 to 5 inches, and they had posted that on their Facebook page. And so 16,000 people that followed that Facebook page thought and probably still think that there's gonna be a 4 to 5 inch ice storm. That's like that's like ice age type stuff. And they think that's gonna happen at the beginning of February. And we just couldn't believe it. Like, people actually post that stuff. So that's why it's always important to not believe random pages like that. Facebook anyway. YouTubers usually do a pretty good job, but even YouTube videos, they tend to exaggerate. It's better just to stick with what the National Weather Service is saying. Yeah, snow and ice isn't too bad. Falling hail, yeah. I've lost a couple windshields to hailstones on storm chases before. I've never lost a windshield to freezing rain, so I'm with you on that one. Watch the Weather Channel. Okay, yeah, Weather Channel. They're not too bad. I think they maybe exaggerate every now and then, but I think, I don't know. They went a little. So what the Weather Channel will do is they'll give really wide amounts, right? You'll see it all the time. They'll say, "Oh, 6 to 12 inches expected." Well, that 6 to 12 inches is pretty wide, but they're accurate because they put a 6-inch difference in there. But they called 8 to 12 inches in this region like days ago, so I'll give them that. They were pretty close. I don't think you'll see up to a foot of snow in here, but they were pretty close. But they nailed the location pretty well. So, but this is the snow map, right? This is the snow map for the next 48 hours. There's that heavy corridor of snowfall expected. Doesn't really start to ramp up until it gets close to the Atlantic. Virginia Beach being the heaviest area, about 8 inches there. What the National Weather Service is saying, anyways. And then you have your heavy snow kind of dipping back, probably about 6 to 9 inches, all the way back into northeast North Carolina, all the way into southeast Virginia. But I think the real talk, and I always say this whenever there's an event like this, I think the real discussion needs to be this ice. Probably one of the biggest ice totals I've seen since Kentucky in like 2008. I'm sure there's been totals like that, but I just don't pay attention. But this is the first time I've ever paid attention and saw that the National Weather Service anyway was putting out 0.4 of an inch. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Weather Channel, like, they're so exaggerated sometimes. They're smart people. They just, I don't know. I think they bought into the social media and the fame, because it's full of genius meteorologists, but I think they just buy into the fame a little bit, and they want to exaggerate everything for likes. But sometimes they're accurate. Sometimes they do pretty good. But yeah, I don't remember. I'm sure someone. Yeah, so that's a good point, Penn Weather. Yeah, so the Carolinas isn't familiar that often with ice events. They don't see them very often. Last week we were doing forecast discussions on an ice storm down there, and they were talking about, oh, this is the Carolinas' first ice storm in years. And now look, 2 in the month of January, and we're only 20 days into January, so probably 2 in the last 2 weeks. So the Carolinas definitely getting hit by ice pretty well. That last ice storm kind of went, I think, in this general area last week. And now it's a little bit further along the coast this week. And that's all the determination of a low, right? If the low goes up through here, or if the low goes way out to the coast, that's what makes the difference. And that's why it's sometimes really difficult to forecast winter storms. It almost never snows in the eastern part of North Carolina. That's crazy. And now you're looking at an ice storm and a winter storm warning. Weather's definitely been weird. The last few years, I would say. Tornadoes are becoming further east. Winter storms are getting a little bit further south, I've noticed. I can't answer everybody's questions, man. There's like 10 questions coming in every 10 seconds. I'm one person. I know you've been typing out a paragraph too. Try to keep your questions a little bit short so I can actually read them. Because as comments come in, your question will get shifted up, and if I can't read it, I can't answer it. We're lucky to get it in Western North Carolina. Yeah, exactly. Even in the mountains, sometimes there, you guys struggle to get snow. I saw a rainbow on Christmas 2021. There was actually one Christmas year, I think it was 2020. No, it couldn't have been. It had to be a year before. No, it was 2020. I can't remember. It might have been 2020 or 2019, but it was like way warm in the state of Indiana. I mean, I was wearing a t-shirt. It was like 65, 70 degrees. And Indiana in December being 70 is very weird. And it wasn't too bad this year either. I think it was in the 40s this year. So we've been getting lucky the last few Christmases. But then I remember like 2018 or 2017, actually, it was like a blizzard Christmas day in Indiana and I couldn't go anywhere. So really just depends. But that's crazy. Yeah. 60 degrees last Christmas. Yeah, it's weird. Weather's getting weird. Do you think we are getting anything in Richmond, Virginia on Friday, Saturday? From this, no ice. Just looking at this. Let's go to the snow map here. So Richmond's right here. National Weather Service says only about 0.2 of an inch of snow, so not a lot. But I would say there's always possibility that this extends outward. You know, tomorrow we'll have a much better idea as it's the day of pretty much. But as of right now, not a lot. A dusting, but nothing that's going to significantly slow down traffic or anything. Is there any way to pull up weather forecasts from past years? Yeah, I can. I'm not going to. Reason being, two reasons. First reason being, I'm not going to be on here much longer. But the second reason being is my internet is super slow tonight. It took me like 20 minutes just to load forecast models earlier. I'm shocked that this live stream is actually even running right now. How much snow tonight for Williamsburg, Virginia? Tonight's snow, I'm not 100% sure. I don't even know where Williamsburg, Virginia is. Is it on here? Give me an idea where Williamsburg, Virginia is. I don't see it on the map here. Let me go back up and see if I miss any comments here. Do we get rain a lot? Yeah, I get that. Yeah. So Jamie asks, is 2.9 inches in Greenville right of snow? Yeah, so this is straight from the National Weather Service. This is not a computer model. It actually says right here at the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see. You probably can't because my thing's in the way. Hold on, let me move my graphic. So it says right here at the bottom, I don't know if you guys can read that or not, but it says forecast data is produced manually by expert meteorologists at the National Weather Service. Right? So this thing that we're looking was actually drew in manually by meteorologists straight from the National Weather Service. So I would say as of right now, this is pretty accurate. Of course, this could change. I mean, it's a winter weather event. It's weather in general. Weather changes all the time. Crap, hold on. I missed some comments here. Is there going to be any ice for Virginia Beach? So, Marcus, most of the ice stays well south of you. The big ice potential actually exists more down here in this region. Virginia Beach is looking at some heavy snow, which is way more doable than ice. So that's probably why you're asking. You can drive in snow, in 8 inches of snow for the most part. Some people can't. Depends on your vehicle. Also depends on the plows. You can't drive in 0.4 of an inch of ice that's expected down there. So Virginia Beach getting the better deal out of this. Between Richmond and Virginia Beach. Okay, so that's where the Williamsburg or whatever it is. So right in here, corridor of probably anywhere. It depends on what part of this region you're in, but if you're up, let me clear that. If you're in this area of the region, you're more of 1 to 3 inches. And if you're in this area, you have the potential for about 3 to 5, 3 to 6. So I would say anywhere between Richmond and Virginia Beach, we'll see some accumulating snowfall. The closer you get to Virginia Beach, the more. No, Greenville, South Carolina doesn't see snow tomorrow. Check ice. I think the ice doesn't go that far back. So no snow or ice for the Greenville, South Carolina tomorrow. Pretty much misses you guys just to the southeast. So this is the ice forecast. Again, this is the most concerning thing of this upcoming event, especially when you see areas that don't see ice that often pushing 4/10 of an inch of ice. That's pretty impressive. That is power outage for at least a full day, if not multiple days. You probably have a lot of. I wish I was down there to document this, but you probably have a lot of power trucks. Like companies that run power on standby in this area. We saw that happen with last week's ice storm. A friend of mine, Jordan Hall, actually got on video of drone footage of all the power company trucks that were on standby. I think there was at least 50 of them from that ice storm last week. Probably same thing happening, especially in the Jacksonville region where they're expecting the heaviest of that ice to be. We actually we've had a pretty quiet crowd tonight. Usually we're pushing 200, 300, 400 viewers on these live streams, but we've been around the 100 or below the entire time. So everybody must be busy tonight. I didn't really announce I was going live either. I just kind of went live. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's have some final questions here and then we'll get off for the night. We'll do some live streaming tomorrow in regards to the event as it's happening. I don't know where Kitty Hawk, North Carolina is. I've heard of it because that's where the Wright brothers are from, but I don't know where Kitty Hawk, North Carolina is. Kind of give me an area. I don't think I've ever actually searched where that is. I think I have, but I just don't remember. Yeah, it's a good point. Now, this is a pretty small, that's a good point, Penweather. This is a pretty small region that this is occurring. That's probably why we don't have a lot of viewers. If it was a wider snowstorm, we probably would. That's a good point. I'm surprised we haven't seen any of the moderators on tonight either. I didn't tell them I was going live, so that's probably why. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like I said, we'll do some more live streaming tomorrow. We will do live weather coverage tomorrow afternoon when this event starts to take place. 60 miles south of Virginia Beach, definitely heavy snow potential there. I would say pushing 5 to 8 inches in that region. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll go live tomorrow, talk about the winter storm as it's happening. But until tomorrow, guys,